signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back, so we're going to send them out to Guantanamo. This will double our capacity immediately, right? And that's a tough place to get out of. Today's signings bring us one step closer to eradicating the scourge of migrant crime in our communities once and for all. And it was just it's just an unforced error that we even have to be doing this. Now we need Congress to provide full funding for the complete and total restoration of our sovereign borders, as well as financial support to remove record numbers of illegal aliens. And these are illegal alien killers, criminals at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And you would have known that, and you were there when I said it. I said everybody that's bad is going to be thrown. If you look at Venezuela, Venezuela's crime is down 77% because they've taken their gang members, their prisoners, their drug dealers, their drug lords. They've shipped them all into the United States. Many other countries, their crime is way down, and our crime is not doing well. But we're going to have it do really well very soon, and we're shipping all these people back where they came from.
All right, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, peace to you, hopefully elect. I'm your brother Yahweh Call from Great Millstone, Orlando. And, pursuant to the spirit of this year, as coined by the Apostle Tahar, the hopeful year of deliverance and destruction of Esau, the wicked. All right. But of course, pursuant to Acts 14 and 22, before we obtain the kingdom, we must go through tribulation, great tribulation. All right. And Lord willing is looking like, at least within this 4-year term, that this could very well be the case. All right. Jacob's trouble, Lord willing, is got to be around the corner, and, as usual, because even when you look at over the past years, within the past decade or so, dealing with specifically with the northern tribes, because pretty much Yahweh Shema Shai, whenever, for the most part, there was a form of Jacob's trouble, it typically would start with the northern kingdom, and like I said, when you just look at what's been going on in recent years, dealing with the northern kingdom, the so-called Venezuelans, and so on and so forth, and just the poverty and just the hell that the northern kingdom has been catching, in so much that a lot of those northern tribes, they've been trying to come over here, for the most part, because, it's been coming out. We know this by now. If you don't know, then you've probably been sleeping under a rock. Because, again, we know a lot of these cats that have been coming over here. And that's the thing, why Trump, a.k.a. Nero, is targeting specifically the tribes, specifically targeting Jake, because why isn't he, and no one's really asking this question, why isn't he going after the so-called Chinese, right? The so-called Arabs, Ishmael and them, that's been allegedly coming through the border. Why is he specifically targeting the Jake, And that's why we believe, again, Trump is Nero, for Nero's mere hatred that he had for Jake, But nevertheless, and this will trickle down, believe it or not. This will trickle down to the Southern Kingdom as well. All right. which again, you know, Lord willing, this is more and more setting the stage for Jacob's trouble. All right. Because it looks like DJ Trump, man, through the spirit of the Lord on the left hand, is getting ready to drop the hammer. All right. And come after you Jakes, man, that don't want to get right with you. How about Shemal Shai? This could very well be the beginning stages. All right. The stage being set for this here in Jeremiah 30. I'm going to start at verse 4. And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah, the northern and southern kingdom. But thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. All right, so it's about to get dark out here, you know. Matter of fact, real quick, I'm gonna grab this in First Kings chapter 8, because the scriptures go into how that day that's coming, the great day of Yahweh Bashim Shai, which this time period, it's not talking about a literal 24-hour period, but this certain time period where Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to turn his face, and it's just going to be pure judgment. All right, when Yahweh Bashim Shai removes his presence from the earth, it's going to be pure wrath. That day is described as a day of darkness and gloominess, thick clouds, right? First Kings 8:12, it says, Then spake Solomon, Yahweh said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. So showing you that, you know, ultimately Yahweh Bashim Shai is the one that's in control. All right. And again, it's going to be his spirit, that spirit of judgment, that spirit of vengeance from Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. When that time of darkness and gloominess, all right, those thick clouds, man. And I always use the example because whenever you step outside and it's just one of those days where it's just those thick clouds, it's darkness, it's gloomy. No, it can also often symbolize just uncertainty because you don't know if it's going to rain. You don't know what the forecast is going to be. It's just uncertain. And surely that's the times that we're coming into, times of uncertainty. All right. You know, I'm grab another one real quick. Bear with me. Luke 21:25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations. It says, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. So going into this perplexity, all right, which like I did the video the other night going into, you know, for you, hopefully like Akim, all right, the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai is really going to be on us, all right. A real spirit of discernment, all right, a real spirit of guidance, you know, because while everyone else is running like a chicken with its head cut off, all right, people are going to see that light, you know, in us, all right. But when you go into this perplexity, it says to be without resources, to be in straits, all right, extreme difficulty, you know, when it goes into that strait, all right, the straits it's just real difficult, all right. It says to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt. This is the point. It says not to know which way to turn, to be at loss with oneself, to be in doubt, not to know how to decide or what to do. So you see, man, these people, they're going to be in this complete state of perplexity. All right. You know, not having that reason, you know, because that's how bad it's going to be. You know, that's how bad it's going to be, man. All right. Here it is. This guy is being held as some sort of a savior for Babylon. But little do these people know. I'm gonna grab another one before I go back to that Jeremiah. I'm gonna go to another one. Because again, this is gonna trickle down. You Southern Kingdom, you don't get comfortable. All right, you so-called Negroes, West Indians, all right, you so-called Haitians, you Southern Kingdom, all right, you so-called black people, you don't get comfortable. Because it's gonna trickle down to you too. I'm gonna grab this. Bear with me. In Sirach 14:7, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. So, Esau, from the top wicked elites, to these guys like Trump, and boiling down to the average Edomite out here, Edomite is always going to be Edomite, and Jake, man, they think just because Brian from the work site is cool, he give me an extra Snicker bars, so-called white man he's not all bad. Well, all right. There's coming a time he's going to show his wickedness. He's going to show his true horns. All right. That's pretty much what when it mentions, it says at the last he will declare his wickedness. So Esau, specifically speaking about Trump, he's going to show his true colors. He's going to show who he is, which is the devil. All right. And you tribes, you're going to feel the wrath. All right. Through the spirit on the left hand of Yahweh Shemal Shai, Esau's going to come down with that hammer. I'm going back to that Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30 in verse 5 again. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And we've been trying to warn our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians, for many years, decades, all right, of what's coming, what's getting ready to happen. All right. It says, ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Again, going like I mentioned with that, being in that state of perplexity. All right, an extreme state of fear. Real quick, I'm gonna go to Revelation 6. Revelation 6:8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. That's what's getting ready to sweep across the whole landmass of Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, death, pure hell. All right. A lot of bloodshed, man. It says, and power was given unto him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, talking about America, to kill with sword and with hunger and with death and with the beasts of the earth. So you see, Yahweh Shemal Shai is about to let this man loose. He's about to take the leash off this devil, man. This pit bull. All right. But they mentioned that pale horse. Again, going into that is going to be a lot of fear. Perplexity. All right. Going back to the Jeremiah in Jeremiah 30. Because as a matter of fact, let me finish this. Jeremiah 30:7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Which lines up with Daniel 12:1. All right. There's never going to be a time like there never has been a time like this time that we're getting ready to come up into. All right. There's never been a time like it. Neither will there be a time after. All right. It says, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Talking about the elect. All right. That he represents the elect. The scriptures talk about how the Lord, Jacob shall not utterly be consumed, because Yahweh Bashem Shai, again, he's getting ready to bring some serious judgments. All right. As I read in Revelation 6, death, hell, man, is getting ready to sweep through this landmass of Babylon the Great. All right. But yeah, man, that Jacob's trouble. And Lord willing, this is going to set the stage for it. All right. Because with that being said, I got this here. Which Donald Trump, going into this Laken Riley Act that Donald Trump is bear with me real quick as I look this up. Look something up real quick. Because hence the name, as I just read in Jeremiah 30:7, the name speaks for itself. Jacob's trouble. All right. And the name says it all. Jake is in trouble. Yeah, I'm just going to this real quick because again, this is another act that Trump just signed into law. All right, the Laken Riley Act. And when you go into it, it says here, jumping down, it says this bill requires the Department of Homeland Security, the DHS, to detain certain non-U.S. citizens, non-U.S. nationals, aliens under federal law who have been arrested for burglary, theft, larceny, or shoplifting. The bill also authorizes states to sue the federal government for decisions or alleged failures related to immigration enforcement. Under this bill, DHS must detain an individual who, one, is unlawfully present in the United States or did not possess the necessary documents when applying for admission, and two, has been charged with, or arrested for, convicted of, or admits to having committed acts that constitute the essential elements of burglary, theft, larceny, or shoplifting. The bill also authorizes state governments to sue for injunctive relief over certain immigration-related decisions or alleged failures by the federal government if the decision or failure caused the state or its residents harm, including financial harm of more than $100. Specifically, the state government may sue the federal government over a decision to release a non-U.S. national from custody, failure to fulfill requirements relating to inspecting individuals seeking admission into the United States, including requirements related to asylum interviews, failure to fulfill a requirement to stop issuing visas to nationals of a country that unreasonably denies or delays acceptance of nationals of that country, a violation of limitations on immigration patrol, such as their requirement that parole be granted only on a case-by-case basis, or failure to detain an individual who has been ordered removed from the United States. And as I just played the clip, all right, of Donald Trump, about basically capturing 30,000, right? Or was it 33? Excuse me. 30,000. Basically, for this migrant facility in Guantanamo Bay. So pretty much, when you read between the lines, all right, it reminds you of this because obviously, prisons are going to get overcrowded. Prisons are going to get overcrowded. It's no coincidence over these years, over the decades, they're building all these shelters, these plazas, shopping malls going abandoned, right? Walmarts, so on and so forth. All right. What do you think the stage has been being set for? That's why we were told this. We were forewarned of this. Excuse me. In Revelation 3. I'm sorry, I meant Revelation 2. Revelation 2 in verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Because to speak on Revelation 3, it mentions those that have kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Because listen, again, it's going to be a lot of uncertainty, as I said earlier, and that applies to us too, the hopefully elect, because we don't know, we play certain scenarios out in our mind. We think worst case scenario, whatever the case may be, but ultimately we don't know. We don't know how this is going to play out. All right. But just know that the details are already worked out in our favor. It's already worked out. So ultimately we just have to trust Yahweh Shema Shai. That's why it's the hour of temptation. All right. Like, again, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Some of us are going to be separated from our families. Again, some of us are going to be hauled off to these isolation centers. All right. Migrant centers, whatever you want to call them, concentration camps, whatever you want to call them. All right. Re-education centers, whatever you want to call them. All right. Some of us are going to be caught up in these facilities. All right. Because like I said, starting with the Northern Kingdom, but it's going to trickle down to all the tribes. All right. It says, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Like I said, it's no coincidence over decades, all these abandoned buildings, factories, plazas, shopping malls. All right. And then, with the building of these new facilities, and so on and so forth. It's no coincidence. All right. It says, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, which 10, like 7, goes into a complete, all right, a complete number, So some brothers might be in there a day or two. Some brothers might be in there 3 months. Some brothers might be in there literally 10 days. All right. It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So you got to think about the magnitude of this. All right. Because, again, it said we're going to be tried, and on that same note, it said, be faithful unto death. Again, that should show you the magnitude, the seriousness of this, how bad it's going to be. All right. Because this leads into the hour of temptation. You want to eat. You want to be let back out into society. You want your freedoms back. You want your comforts back. You want to see your family. You got to take that C-hip. All right. That's what it's all leading to ultimately. All right. But again, you got to think about the magnitude. A lot of people are going to be dying in those centers, man, those isolation centers, doing unspeakable acts, doing abominable acts, man, And so much that we know, as the scriptures say, even some of the elect are going to get martyred, be martyred, But the Lord's going to be with us if that's our lot. All right, the Lord's going to be with us. you know. Unlike these people, you know, the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah is not going to be with them. Again, as it said in Revelation 3, all right, those that have kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the Lord's going to give us a certain spirit to endure whatever it is. Hey, they might not feed you, you know, for weeks, you know. That's why fasting is important, you know, getting the body used to being without, because that's one thing. Fasting is a requirement in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai. It shouldn't wait one day out the year, the Day of Atonement, to fast, you know. Fasting should be a regular occurrence in our walk. You see, but these people, of course, they eat around the clock. And the Lord's going to force these people to fast. All right. He's going to force them on to fast. All right. That's why famine is coming back in a major way, you know. But hey, that's going to be a trial in itself. Not eating, going without food, days, weeks, maybe, you know. But however it plays out for those of us that are caught up, you know, in these prisons, in these isolation centers, you know, being idle, you know, not being able to, like it tells in 2 Ezra 16, not being able to go anywhere, do anything, you know, stationary. You know, like I said, man, you're worrying about your family, being separated from your family. You know, you're hearing people scream, right? Hey, a lot of these people, man, it's gonna be like some shit off a Hostel. If you ever seen those movies, I think they have 3 movies, you know, and that's what comes to mind when I think about this scripture here. All right, if you ever seen those Hostel movies, man, that's a gruesome. Those are some gruesome movies, you know, just a mad scientist basically torturing tourists, you know. If you haven't seen those movies, I suggest you watch them. You know, Hostel Part 1, 2. I think there is a third, if I'm not mistaken. All right. But a lot of these people, man, they're going to go into these isolation centers to never be heard from again. And that's already taking place. You know, a lot of Jake, man, are going to be shipped off to other places, different countries. You know, it's going to be crazy. You know, it's going to get crazy, man. You know, but it's all of Yahweh Shema Shai. And again, like I said, man, Lord willing, this is setting the stage. You know, that's going to be the new normal. Hearing about these isolation centers, concentration camps, as it's been taught by our apostles for so long. You know, you even have other Israelite groups, they shit on the apostles of Great Millstone for you know, simply bringing this information out. You know, saying that we're crazy for speaking on these things. You know, but now it's not sounding so crazy as of right now. You know, and it seems like the only people that can't really get it is these other Israelite groups. You know, these so-called leaders in Israel. You know, where they have a lot of explaining to do. Because as the Apostle Tar says, there's about to be a major shaking in Israel. All right. There's about to be a major shaking. And a lot of these followers of these different groups, man, they're going to come flocking to Great Millstone. And a lot of them are going to get turned away. A lot of them are going to get rejected. You have a lot of sincere men and women. All right. But as for the majority, man, a lot of these people, the majority of these people, these jakes that from these other Israelite groups and that are going to be flown to Great Millstone, the majority of them are going to get turned away. All right. You know, because they're settled on their lees. They say there is no evil, you know. There is no Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is gay. Jacob's trouble is already passed. It already happened. You know, just speaking all manner of foolery, you know. But they're gonna have to eat those words, and they're gonna, like I said, they got a lot of explaining to do, because the time is gonna come when a lot of these you know, followers of these different groups, man, the followers, the congregations, they're gonna start going after the necks of these so-called leaders in Israel, man. All right, because once they find out that these so-called leaders, man, have been bullshitting, you know, like I said, man, there's gonna be a major shaking, man, in Israel. All right, you know, so we're in real spiritual times, real, you know, unprecedented times, you know. But you know, hey, we're with it because it just means that we're all the more closer. All right, all the more closer, man, and getting the hell up out of here. So, you know, let the Lord's will be done, and we can say that confidently because, you know, all chips in on Yahweh Shema Shah at this point, you know. Like I said, we don't know how things are going to play out. We don't know what we're going to do, quite frankly. But hey, at this point, the Lord has never failed us. He's never done us wrong, you know, versus trusting in Esau and his system. All right, the scriptures say in Isaiah 10 how the Lord's going to remove his burden off our shoulder. You know, he's going to remove that yoke. So the time is coming because, like I said, for so long we've been, you know, we live amongst the system. We live in the system. So we have to work, pay bills and do this and do that. But it is never enough. So that's why when it comes crashing down, hey, we're not going to shed a tear other than tears of joy. We can't wait because trusting in the system, depending on the system, it's failed us time in and time out. So that's why, like I said, man, at this point, hey, and I always say I'd rather take my chances in the woods. I'll take my chances in a concentration camp, wherever the Lord leads me, because I trust in the Lord, man. You know, like I said, I all chips, all bets on Yahweh Shema Shah at this point. You know, because when is, depending on the system, ever done us any good? You know. But Lord, one of this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.